Did you want them turned on?
Yes. So
Okay.
welcome. My name is Anita. My podcast is Anita Inspires, and today I have a special guest, Miss Linda Grindle, the Comanche psychic. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. And it's so nice meeting you, Anita. You asked me, how long ago did you ask me?
Probably like a month ago, and
Yeah.
you said that you were getting ready, that these were the last of the
Coming for two
collaborations
months
that you were
now.
doing. Yes.
Yeah, I'm having the surgery the 28th. So
Ah, I know it's gonna go well. I feel
I
it.
have a feeling too. I'm not afraid at all.
Yes. So a little bit about Linda G. She's retired from doing psychic readings. She has her YouTube channel, Linda G. Comanche Psychic, which has more than 62,000 subscribers and more than 34 million views so far. And she's registered with the government as a Comanche Indian. So far,
I'm
so good.
registered with my tribe.
Yes. Linda has predicted several world and US events, including the pandemic on 8/17 of 2019.
That was so weird.
Seeing people wearing masks, she said in her video.
And it was going to be a nasty virus.
Yes. And in 2020, the presidential election, where she saw Joe Biden winning as well.
Yeah. That was
And
scary, though. It wasn't a full-fledged takeout. It was a little bit on the edge.
yes. Like I said, I learned who you were from one of the bloggers when I was blogging, that she just kept mentioning you over and over again. And I'm like, oh, I have to find out who this person is. And I love, I
Thank
love
you for
you. I
watching.
love you. I love you.
Yeah, you did just say the big ass head woman, and you'll find her.
And around 1980s, Linda was told by a psychic in Laguna Beach that she would be a sought after reader and medium. She's been giving psychics gave Linda her first deck of tarot cards. She started reading tarot cards for others before she knew it. She was reading for many famous people.
Yeah,
And in Hollywood, that income that she generated was able to put her through nursing school, correct?
right, correct.
And after that,
I stopped reading after I became a nurse.
yes. And touching off of the subject of that, I know you're writing a book,
Yeah,
and for those of you who don't know, what is your book about?
it's about my life and the connection with these guides that started talking to me. Where I've heard this man talk to me before, even in Laguna Beach. I had a horrible dream, and this man started telling me about my life. And when I woke up, I could still hear him talking. He's a very stern voice, majestic, loving, but not too loving. It's even when they talked to me when I was afraid of my daughter. She got COVID, and I was so scared because she has lung disease.
I
And I
remember.
was, I was going over in my head, oh, please, uh, take care of her. And he said, as clear as day, practice what you preach. And I thought, oops, you're right. It's
Yes.
just like when I was begging for my life with cancer.
Yes.
That's when the ability got really strong. And I
I
said, please don't let me go, because my kids are still young. They'll need their mom. And the man said, you know there's no such thing as death. And actually, as a nurse, I saw spirits come out of the bodies. So I said, I got embarrassed, and I said, oh, you're right. Please forgive me. And I energetically gave myself to a power. It was like, into thy hands I commenced my spirit. It was that kind of energy.
yes.
I have faith. Even if I die, it's going to be okay. That's how I went back with Nicole too. Even if something happened, it's going to be okay. Then I felt a peace. And
Yes.
that's what happened. That's when they really started. And that's when he said, one day I was standing in my bedroom, he said, you're going to start a YouTube channel. And I said, what?
I
I'm going to
remember.
do that. And he said, Linda, you will help calm people down.
And you have truly done that. I know from
Well,
my
there was a
work,
third
other,
statement.
oh, there
There
was.
was a third statement. It'll be in the book. He
Oh,
said, if your ego gets involved, we will remove your gift.
yes, yes. I've heard you mention that before. Yes.
Because I can have an ego.
Oh, we all
And
can.
yeah, but it's what helps too is age. I'll be 70 in September.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna
I
say happy birthday because it's coming up.
thank you. Thank you. But I've had such a wonderful life, especially with my guides. But he uh he knew, because when I was younger, had this happened to me before my awakening,
Mhm.
it would have been all about me. It would have been, I would have been hustling for money, and you know what I'm saying?
It happened at the right time when it was that you needed it.
I needed it.
Yeah.
So my duty as a Virgo is service.
Okay.
And that's why I like to bring other teachers in.
Thank you, because I am
Because
learning so much from you, from Kim Copeland. I've had sessions with her
she's wonderful.
and with Susan when they were doing the classes together, and I learned so much between.
Susan Lynn,
Yeah.
Kim at Intuitive View, and Debbie at Freebird. They have great classes. There's just such great workers
And
out
I
there.
didn't know that. I'm always like looking for a new class where I can learn more.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I had a funny situation that happened not that long ago where I was at the park and I took my selenite, my crystals, and I placed them all around me and I just started praying, just started like cleansing myself, praying. I was in the sun, I was grounding myself, and oh my God, it felt so good. When I got up, I looked down and I saw the little clovers on the floor, and I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if I found one? I found one.
Oh,
My
wow.
second one. Yes. Yes.
Isn't that something?
Yes. And I'm like, you know what? That's my sign. They're always talking to you in so many ways. That is
Right,
the
right.
topic for today, 7 ways that your guides and angels speak to us.
Yes.
Yes. Um, so when will you be publishing your book, Linda?
That I'm Tana, my friend Tana in
Mhm.
Florida. She's flying out. Her and I are doing an event at Angel Heart, where my beginning started, etc. And she's coming. She has an event or something else, but she's coming. She knows how to self-publish. She's very
Yes.
good at it.
Yes, I reached out to her because I was having an issue with my website and she was telling me to go into Winx. And I was like, okay, that's it, I'm gonna do it. And she's like, no, just check it out first and then see. And while I was checking it out and I was loving it, I kept getting information telling me, no, stay, find out first what's gonna happen with your site. And come to find out, the only reason why I couldn't see it is because they stopped using the www. That was the only issue. So if I hadn't listened to my guides, I'd probably be somewhere else getting upset.
Yeah.
So yes. Yes. So I cannot wait to read your book when it comes out.
Thank you. I've been talking about it for 4 years now.
Yes.
But I have a very good friend who made me come down to her house in Malibu. And I spent like almost 10 days there. I got to tell you, was it, or 7 days? I just know whenever I go somewhere, I'll start panicking for my boys and for my dogs. It's hard for me to be gone for long periods of time. I never felt nothing but comfort.
I remember because I remember seeing you that you did a couple of videos there and it was so serene
Yeah.
and so peaceful.
And it just sort of flew. She got me on track because get this book done. Get this book done. I said, okay. So
I keep hearing my guys as well because I'm in the steps of writing something and I had a strange situation where I saw a white feather and the white feather just kept flipping from side to side. And I'm like, mind you, I'm getting a wax when I'm seeing this. And I get up to look to see if I can get it. It wasn't there.
oh, girl, that's a connection.
Oh yes. And that's kind of like a link with the book that I am trying to write. So yes.
And it's kind of got to flow out of you.
Oh yes, because I did not expect that.
I can't sit down and force anything. But since it's about my life, I'm very familiar with it. But there's so many stories.
Oh yes, I bet.
So many stories of unbelievable hits that I have gotten. It's wonderful.
It truly, truly, truly. I know that you truly calm many people down. Just as your angels and guides speak with you and told you that you were going to help people, everyone has angels and guides that communicate with them. And one of my like tips of how to speak to your guides is like you hear an inner voice in your head that talks to you, like how you've mentioned several times in so many videos where you're like, hold up a moment, they're talking to me.
Yeah, but remember how many years it took for that connection.
Yes.
Because I was always in my head. I was ego-based. And when you're like that, like a lot of people, they even get envious. Oh, you're so lucky you can get the messages. I hate to say it, sometimes it takes something like cancer or a traumatic event to where people stop midstream and stop overthinking, or maybe even shocky, but all of a sudden you'll know those messages.
Yes.
It's when we overthink, when we're busy. What did you say? What was that? You've got to allow, just like with deceased loved ones. A lot of times they can't talk to their loved one because they're so busy thinking and in grief, they can't vibrationally talk to you. Remember, it's all about vibrations.
Yes, it is. That's true.
So they can't connect with you unless you're in that higher realm, so to speak, with that love energy. And
Yeah.
just breathe and be still, and then give them permission.
You know what? I never thought of that.
You need to give them permission.
I've never thought of that. My second tip is you will have visions. Well, you have visions that just flash out of nowhere.
I know.
I get them all the time now, and
Yes.
wow.
Like I was on with Andre, and all of a sudden I saw a lot of police and people all upset. I said, oh, something's getting ready to happen.
Yeah,
We had several things happen with the shooting in Florida and all this.
Yeah.
So
yes, and like that's my thing. I want to move to Florida. If not Florida, we went to Hawaii, and oh my God, I fell in love with Hawaii. Oh my God.
Hawaii is beautiful.
There's like a spirit in that island that just calls to you, and you feel so at peace there. Yes.
We want to give special prayers and love to Floridians who are going to be getting ready for that hurricane.
Yeah, my father-in-law who lives there as well, and his family.
Somebody asked about Tampa, and I saw rain, but I didn't see a direct hit. And they just now announced it's going to pass Tampa, but you'll still have storm surge and rain. So
that's good. That's good. So
it's going up near Tallahassee. So God bless. It's Armageddon. I'm going to tell you right now, it's Armageddon.
that's true. You did predict that there was going to be several different storms, earthquakes, different things that were going to start coming.
I mean, a lot of psychics have predicted that, but I could just feel it coming sooner than later because the earth is readjusting. It's not mad at us. It needs to shake us off.
When you were speaking a couple of videos that you've said, and you mentioned that, I had a vision where I saw like a landslide. I just don't know where. I saw a landslide.
There has been several landslides.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow.
And the one down in the hurricane or the tropical storm that hit in Southern California, there was landslides with big boulders and everything.
Oh my God. So
maybe that's what you were seeing.
Probably. I just can't link where, like what state. They just come, and I'm like, okay, and then they just go right away. And I'm like,
and
okay.
Don't forget what I said about Europe, you guys. It's Armageddon. They're getting Armageddon rains right now. I sent to my sister a reel of just this mud and water sliding down in Austria.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's
prayers to them.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for doing the prayers. I'm always like adding like my little tidbit when I was having my surgery, and then I had to have surgery again. So thank you so much. The prayers.
Oh, sure. I think today's prayer day. I'll have to double check.
And they do work. You feel it. You feel the
people love it. Yeah.
Yes. So we're gonna move on to physical sensation is my third tip. I have felt at times like my angels and guides talking to me, but I felt like a caress, like they're touching me. And I know some people, when they're feeling down, they'll feel like an energy, like as if something gives them a hug and things like that. What have you experienced?
I've felt a touch for sure, but I've seen a deceased loved one bend over a person who's asking about their loved one and literally hug them. And when I mentioned your spirit, your father or mother, whoever is hugging you, they said, I thought I felt a squeeze, but mine is more audible. I get messages very loud and clear, but they're funny. If you vibrationally connect with them and you remain in that, so don't be freaking out if something doesn't go your way,
Yes.
Just go and say, okay, this too shall pass. You'll be so surprised about the manifestations you can create.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing.
It's,
and we live in the earth plane, so we're kind of like, well, that's magic. That can't really happen. Yeah, it can really happen.
yes, it can. I'm a testament to that. Because that day when I was in the park and I needed to ground myself, like I kept feeling that I needed to do that. Wow, it felt so good. And then I had that little surprise with the 4-leaf clover that I found.
So, right. Yeah. And listen to what your thoughts are, because your thoughts are putting out prayers, by the way.
Yes.
So true. It's like,
yes, that's true. It's
like, people you meet, you're like, what? Yeah, whatever. What was that show, Living Color, where she said, hey, how are you? Well, listen, blah, blah, blah. And you didn't hear it from me. That kind of energy works against you.
Oh, wow.
You got to be careful what you're thinking, because don't forget, when you cross over to the other side, you're wide open. There's no hiding those type of things.
No, and I remember when I was younger, I was afraid of the future. I was afraid of dying. I was afraid of all of this. And that's all changed when I started watching you. I started listening to Susan Lynn. I started listening to Kim. It's like, wow, why am I scared of this? I mean, everybody goes through this. There's nothing.
Yeah, and listen, what's the worst thing can happen? You cross over. Well, you're going back to paradise.
Yes.
That's what happened with me with cancer. I just said, fair enough. If I go, I go, whatever. It's really weird. People get really stuck when they lose a loved one. Sometimes I say to them, if I could bottle what your loved one is feeling right now and have you sniff it, you wouldn't even think twice you'll be looking forward to the day you see them again.
That is true. Going to that, I had something happen where my husband and I we're trying to get intimate and stuff, but I keep seeing shadows underneath my door. And I'm like, I'm asking my kids, are you standing in the door? And they're like, no. And don't you know, a couple of months before that, one of my husband's best friends died. And I knew it was him. I could see the reflection, and my husband saw it too. We saw the shadow come to the door, stand there, and then leave. We saw it.
No, oh my God, he was nosy. Shoot.
I think he realized, and he's like, uh-oh, and he left.
Yeah. So how does your husband feel about all this? Is he cool with it?
I'm always telling, I had like you say, you get some visions where you're like, oh, that's good. And then you get some visions, or I have some dreams where I didn't like it so much. And my husband is in law enforcement. And I had a dream that I didn't like, where I saw someone, he tells me that someone put a gun to his head. So I've been praying that it doesn't happen. I've been praying, sending St. Michael to protect him, for protection. And hopefully it does not come true. But my sister, who also sees, she saw it as well. So,
oh my goodness.
So I'm
what city or what state do you live in?
New York City.
Oh, that's right. You told me Queens.
Yeah, New York City.
I'll put a prayer out for him.
Yeah. So like some visions, like I say, they're good. Some visions are not. My husband is always telling me, you should get the vision that you can win the lottery. I'm like, I don't think that is how it works, because that's like an ego thing, and I don't think they're going to allow you to do that.
No, even Edgar Casey had a hard time with helping people get money.
Yeah.
It's your intention. Your intention is very important.
Yes. Yes.
Do you want money because you want to gluttonly live, or do you want money because you'd love to be able to give to others, to help people? It's weird. The weird thing about money is your intention with it.
Yes, yes.
And the other thing is the intention with fame. Some people want fame. And they have to
Yes.
really look at that. There's people who are actors who are good bloody actors and will, you know, eat sand to be able to do this because they love it. And if they become famous, it's wonderful. But then there's some, it's all about the fame and
Yes.
it corrodes your energy.
Yes. Um, I would probably say that that seems like Keanu Reeves, where he has the money and but he gives it away, and you see little things. And even here, I think he lived for a while. I'm not sure if he's still living here, but you see him riding the trains, and it's just like he's just
Yeah,
another person.
he
Simple.
gives up his seat for someone.
Yes, yes,
He's respectful to others.
yes, yes.
He's a cool guy. He doesn't have to live with you know,
No,
shoes that are $10,000.
no, and like he'll give whatever he has to someone in need. I mean, like a lot of people should be like that.
Yeah.
You know, vibrationally be more kinder to others as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm gonna jump into number 4, which is you see signs and symbols. You know, people often look for signs and symbols in their environment. Maybe it might be seeing an animal, feathers, encountering different things that are associated with your angels and your guides. I know I'm always seeing repeating numbers all the time, 1111 or 1234. It's kind of like I'm in the sequence where I'm supposed to be right now. What are other signs that you have seen for yourself?
Well, I don't get signs like with feathers or any of that, but I will feel. I will feel the earth shifting. I will feel this feeling of anxiety like I did before the Ukraine got hit.
Yes,
Remember, I got hit hard with that. And I'll just sense like all of a sudden it gets dead quiet outside and you're like, oops, an earthquake's coming.
Uh-oh. That
You
sounds
know?
like that also sounds like when your children are really quiet, then you know
Yeah.
they're up to something.
I was reading with a woman and all of a sudden I started spinning, you know, vertigo, really bad. And I even got nauseous and I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I told her, hey, the world is going to have an earthquake, a significant earthquake within the week. And then we kept going on. I didn't think twice about it. And I think 4 or 5 days later, the Japan earthquake happened.
Wow.
So I could sense it. I don't know if that's connection to source or
Mhm.
just a natural. And remember, I have quarter
Yes.
Comanche blood.
Mhm.
Is it my natural instinct? Because, you know, the Comanches read the sign of the clouds and the sun. And they even did spider webs. If a spider web is long and sort of flowing,
Mhm.
then it's going to be a drought.
Oh,
If
wow.
it's low,
Mhm.
it's water floods.
Oh, wow. When I visited my husband's aunt that she moved to Colorado, we were able to go to I think it's Four Corners and see some of the tribes because they sell stuff at the Four Corners there. I just don't know. I don't remember which tribe it is up there, but it's beautiful. I mean, the richness, the oh my God, the feeling, the spirit. Oh my God, it's beautiful over there.
And my tribe has made so much progress. They teach all of us, but I mean, I could get the materials. Just I'm a little old, so you can learn the language. You can speak Comanche
Oh,
language.
wow.
And they help pay for college, and it's all kinds of good stuff.
Oh,
But
that's
they were the ones that were supposed to be in that movie, Dances with Wolves.
oh,
It
they
was
were?
about the Comanches, yes. But when they went back, who's the main leader, the actor that when
Was
he
it Kevin
finally
Costner?
Kevin Costner finally threw the money in,
Mhm.
they went to go to the tribe to get their people and actors and
Mhm.
extras, and they were all drunks.
Oh,
And
wow.
they couldn't use them. Listen, those were the days they used to spray hairspray through a cloth and then drink the alcohol.
Wow.
So it was like they took another tribe. They
Wow.
had another tribe. But anyway, the Comanches are just doing fantastic. Most of my family on that side used to be alcoholics. Not all of them, but they're all pretty much clean and sober. It's wonderful.
Where is your tribe located in?
Lawton, Oklahoma.
Okay, okay. Because I know they're in different areas. Um, I know when I lived in Rhode Island, there was a tribe there as well, and
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, and I never knew, but I don't remember them teaching that like in school either, which is unfortunate. What's going
Yeah.
on now? They don't want to teach anything.
No.
No.
Well, here my mom was. She marked on my birth certificate that I was white and she was white. She didn't have a drop of white in her. She
Wow.
was Mexican Indian.
Wow.
And so, but I guess they didn't give you the option. You were black or white.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, but my mom was so mad at the Catholic Church. She used to be a very good little Catholic girl, but she had to live in an orphanage run by the Catholic nuns, and they weren't very nice.
Yeah, I remember stories about, the spankings and the things that they used to do in Catholic school. I never went to one, so I wouldn't know, but you always
Right.
hear those stories.
Yeah, and hitting of the hands and stuff.
Yes, yes, with the
It's
ruler.
a good thing I wasn't in the school because I smacked somebody right upside their head.
So we're gonna shift over to number 5, which is scents or smells. Sometimes you will have like a scent or a smell that, there it's a calling from your angels or your guides or even any other spirits, because sometimes it might not be them. But I know I've had moments where I smell tobacco, which I don't like
Yeah,
the
I've
smell
had
of it.
that a lot.
And I've had a couple of times where I've smelled rose and there's no rose in my home. And it's such a strong scent. And it's, oh my God, it smells so good too. Where I'm like, okay, I know you're here. Thank you for coming, I say. I'm always trying to be thankful, because that's the other thing I've noticed. When you are more grateful for different things, you feel them more.
Yeah, well, my first experience happened when I was 17, and a high school mate, her name was Terry, had died of leukemia, and that was the first dead person I ever saw, and the
Mhm.
first funeral. And I'll never forget that sweet smell, in the where her body was laid
Mhm.
out. And then months passed, and all of a sudden I'm laying in my bed and I smelled it. Just as
Aw.
And so I could feel, but I was too frightened, to open up that door. I could feel Terry, and she's come a couple of times,
Aw.
throughout the years. She's not now, but
Mhm.
when I'm reading people, I will smell tobacco,
Mhm.
and I'll ask, who smoked? Because I can smell the tobacco. And what's funny, a lot of times, like let's say dad was a smoker, and she said, oh, my dad, don't tell me he's smoking. He said, what's it going to do? Kill me? And I'll smell food.
Oh, wow.
Of course, I love food. I'll say, oh my God, girls, that you could, I don't know, is this grandma bought? She's whipping up some delish. And they'll say, yeah, my grandma was an excellent cook.
Wow.
And I also smell a very sweet scent of roses. That could even be kind of like the higher realm, that
Wow.
smell.
I've been trying to like manifest just different things, and one of them is to speak to a shaman. I want to manifest to speak to a master, and I don't know if I have. I probably haven't. I haven't noticed that it
Yeah, you
probably
just got to ask and let it go. Don't say, oh, well, where is it? Don't do that. It's like when I read for people and I'll see a loved person coming in, and you always free will,
Yes.
but I see this relationship, and then what happens is they get too focused on that.
Mhm.
Did I miss it? Is it here? No, I'm telling you, I can see that. That's the hard part about being a psychic reader. Sometimes people so desperately want that they're not relaxing and being in the life now. They're busy looking out there. And the other thing I want to emphasize to everybody is, remember, no other person, as much as we love our significant others,
Mhm.
can make you whole. You have to take care of that yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Don't depend on others.
Yes. I just posted a video on my other YouTube channel, Anita Inspires, that talks about self-care. Like, you have to start taking care of yourself, because when you get sick, no one can take care of you. Only you can take care of yourself. But you
Yeah.
have to give yourself that priority to make you and do you. Yeah.
Right.
Truly.
Right.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump into in your dreams. So angels and guides always communicate with you through dreams. You'll have a whole conversation with them, different things might happen. And what are some things that you have dreamed of that they
Well,
have?
let me tell you, I've had dreams of fighting evil, straight up evil. I was in a room with a bunch of people on chairs. We were
Mhm.
sitting in a circle. And this is when I lived in Laguna Beach. I have really significant dreams whenever I'm in Laguna Beach. And I was told to do the Lord's Prayer, and you better mean every word you say, or you're going to get smashed against the ceiling.
Wow.
So I sat and with my eyes closed in the dream, and
Mhm.
I'm saying the Lord's Prayer out loud and psychically remembering every word and meaning every word. And while I'm doing it, I could hear screaming, of people being smashed.
Mhm.
And when I woke up, I was saying the Lord's Prayer out loud.
Wow.
I was saying it. But here's the deal. My parents were atheists. I wasn't raised in the Catholic Church,
Yes, you
but
mentioned.
I knew the Lord's Prayer.
Wow.
But in real life, if I was awake, I couldn't tell you what the Lord's Prayer was.
Wow. That's truly being
So,
connected to source.
so that I've had several dreams about a cloud that's full, it has this evil face in it.
Mhm.
I would stand and tell it, by the blood of Jesus Christ, I command that you remove yourself. I would fight it energetically with all my might till it just dissipated. So I've had a lot of dreams about fighting evil, which is interesting. It might have been the evil within myself, because then after I become woke,
Yes.
I don't have
Yes.
those dreams anymore.
Wow. I remember I was listening to Susan Lynn talk about she was walking her dog and she just had this sense of something following her. And she mentioned in the video, like if you ever have that happen, call on Saint Michael. And I'm like, okay, I always put it in the back of my head. I was in bed some time ago and I just had this strange feeling. And I said, I don't like this. I said, Saint Mike. Woof, I felt a wind in my face. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even finish uttering the words like Saint Michael, please remove anything from my home that's not of light. I felt that wind in my face and I knew
Wow,
everyone
something evil
was
wanted
gone.
to tap into you.
Yes, yes. Well, like they say, when
Wow.
you're of light, uh your light, darkness doesn't like the light.
Yeah, that light, which is what I encourage everyone to do, even if it's just getting out of your own way. And my thing is political, mostly to calm people down. Plus,
Yeah.
I love meeting everybody and talking, and we
It's
all
a
have
nice,
such a good time.
it's a nice
But
environment, yes.
the thing is that I really want people to know it's going to be okay, and this too shall pass. Because even astrologically, we're in a civil war era.
Yes.
But it's not going to be Armageddon, like they say. And Trump would love to have horrible fights on the street and stuff. And there will be clusters of terrorism, but I just want everybody to know it's going to be okay. And in that calmness, and I tell people, go outside, put your feet on the ground and wait, just be quiet. And in that beauty and that calmness, because there's more good than bad.
True.
It creates vibrational light that will melt the darkness.
I remember you said that your guys told you to calm down about 45, and I just kind of like let go. I stopped watching.
You got to. And listen, if you're in fear, that's not good.
No,
so that's why a lot of people can't watch. I watch some of the news shows so I can keep up with what's going on. But they will peddle this stuff. They'll do it just to make you nervous.
Yes, I love watching Rachel Maddow, but I can watch her, but I just can't with the same thing over and over.
She gets like a Debbie Downer too.
Yeah, so I watch it when it's something going on, like now that they're going to court and I can't wait. And I know I shouldn't be like happy and gleeful about it.
Yeah,
but
I told everybody that.
It's just like karma finally. It's like finally seeing
that. It gives everybody a little piece of hope, but also we can't indulge in because it doesn't hurt him, it hurts you.
Yes. going back to that with the dreams, I've had like several dreams where a couple of the people that I know have gotten pregnant, and it came true. The last one was one of my coworkers in my
I
last
hope you
place
didn't
of
have a
work.
dream about me getting pregnant. Gerard would be very afraid.
Oh my God. I love that. Did you ever get your pillow, like a new pillow with
Yes, I
blood?
got my pillows on my bed and my blanket too. I have a blankie on
Because I
mine.
remember you mentioned that it's kind of like wearing down and that the
Yeah,
Gerard
no, I still got it. That girl with the person, the fan that watches the show. What a sweet thing to do.
Oh, and then
And I have a cup too.
and going back to dreams, I had one that I never connected until afterwards. I had one where this happened before 9/11. I had a strange dream where I was walking down 94th Street, which goes into LaGuardia Airport. And it felt like I was like on the sidewalk and I'm just looking and I see people running. And I'm thinking that it's a race. But then when I started getting a little closer, they were like ghosts, like I could see through them and they were burning, like they had fire coming out and they were running down towards the airport. And I remember seeing that dream and the people didn't know that they were dead. You know, like I woke up shaken and like feeling something was going to happen. And then that's when September 11th.
How long after that was September 11th?
You know what? I started writing, like Tom said, Tom Moore, he said to write your dreams down. I started doing that after that, because it was just such a wow. I couldn't believe I was dreaming this, and then didn't put two and two together until it happened. And I'm like, that's why they didn't know. I said, now I understand. They're running because they don't know what's going on, and their spirits are kind of like not saying limbo, but they didn't know because it happened.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a client I was reading and we were closing out, and right through the wall came a young man with a blue suit, and I think he had a red tie, black curly hair, and a huge smile. It might not have been black, but he had a big head of curly hair. And I said, oh, she said, what? And I said, oh, there's a man here, a young man, who says he's your cousin. And she said, cousin? No. And he said, I looked at him, I said, you're gonna have to tell me more. And he turned like this and he showed me the towers collapsing. And I said, oh, he died in the Twin Towers. And she said, oh, that's my cousin's son. Well, they're still cousins.
Yeah.
I said, well, he wants his mom, who still lives in Manhattan, to know that he is just fine. And he knew he was a newlywed when he died. He knew his wife had remarried and had 2 kids. Wow. So he's telling me to tell her this stuff. And she called that cousin. She hadn't even talked to her probably since 9/11. And told her, listen, I was with a psychic and your son came through and he wants you to know. And I guess this woman was just overwhelmed. But what happened is the mother wasn't getting out of the grief, and he was worried about that.
Wow. Wow.
And also, it was hard to see her daughter-in-law, remarry and have 2 kids, the things she wished she'd had,
Wow. You know, I used to work at a law firm that was just a block away from the Twin Towers. And when I moved to Rhode Island, I had moved a couple of months, I think it was in February, obviously that happened in September, but I used to take the train underneath the Twin Towers. And
yes,
that was like around the time that I would have probably been stuck in the train. And I still say to myself, my God, it's like
you were looked at
for a reason. Yes.
People who ran into work late.
Yes.
Saved.
Yes. Yes, I had one of the managers that worked in that law firm. She got offered a job working as a manager for another company, which was like, she said like 77th floor or something like that. Yes, and she didn't take it.
Oh, thank God.
She moved to Florida and she was saved, which always like
they're not dead. They're still alive, just like you saw them running towards the airport, catching their flight to the other realm.
Yes, truly. And going back, my last tip is getting a gut feeling, that knowing something that's telling you, choose this path, choose that path.
Yes, I knew I shouldn't eat that chili cheeseburger. And sure enough, I had the two Mississippi 2-step. But yeah, gut feeling. I get that a lot. especially when I meet people. How
Oh,
about you?
yeah. Sometimes I've gotten more so with the gifts and trying to get them more open, and I'm able to tell like, oh, I've noticed this cue from this person. Like I know I was telling my sister the other day, like, how do you know when someone has like their gifts? Like, how can you tell? She's like, oh, that's easy. I was like, it's like you see it in their eyes. I'm like, I don't know how I can see it in their eyes, but she's like, it's just a knowing, something that you know, something that you
Right. Well,
can't
I get
explain.
real nervous about people asking me, what do you do?
Oh, they
I'll be dealing with somebody like my Generac person and stuff, and people will say, well, I'm a self-employed.
Mhm.
Oh, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a YouTube uh, a psychic medium. And oh my God, you'd be surprised how many people want to know more.
Oh, truly.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
I've always been fascinated by like this being psychic, a mediumship, just like the supernatural. I mean, I grew up, let's just say that my father wasn't the nicest of person, and he's paying his own debt to society, and I don't have any connection anymore with that person. But I used to see some very strange things in my home, things where it really, the pit of my stomach, something was telling me get up and leave, and I would have to get up and leave. I couldn't stay in the house when or the
Wow.
where I was staying because I felt something. Either something was coming, and I did not want to see what it was. I
Wow.
I have between my sister and I, we have stories. I think she even said like we should write it down in a book, and I'm like, I don't know how people would
Is
take
it like
that.
ghost stories or?
My father was into that religion that's called Santeria, and
Oh,
it wasn't the nicest of things, and
yeah.
not something that I wanted to practice, not something that I wanted
But
as a.
what it does, it creates a negative around it that can attach to you.
But it depends because from what I understand as well, like you can have it in the light or you can have it in the other way. And I think this was in the other way because it wasn't good. I don't think it was. Um,
Yeah.
but like so many things. I mean, I one night I remember sleeping and I got up, and my father was also cheap too. My father was cheap. He didn't want
That's
to
like
spend
my
money.
dad. He used to say, why is that light still on?
So he wouldn't put an air conditioner. He would have us have a fan. So we had to share the fan. The fan would sway from one side to the other, and we had it on a chair so it could go both ways. And I woke up in the middle of the night because I was hot, and I put the fan back on, and I hear my sister tell me, Anita, it wasn't normal. Something threw that on the floor, and it's ugly. And I'm like, uh-oh. So it's those things that you don't want to see, the boogeyman that you don't want to see in the middle of the night. And I'm like, okay. I put it on, I put the fan back on, I got back into bed, and she's telling me that. And she's like, Anita, it came back. And I'm like, oh, I could feel something like right here in my face. But in that time, like I didn't know about like the suggestions that like Susan Lynn, like I didn't have that around me. It was a different upbringing. And if I would have known that, I probably would have said it and it probably would have gone away. But in that
Right.
moment, oh my God, I wouldn't, I couldn't sleep. I probably was up for I don't know how long until I finally calmed down and I was able to go back to sleep. But it was so hot. That I remember.
Oh, I know. God, and in my day, which is way long past your day,
Mhm.
our schools, I lived in the East Bay. We didn't have air conditioning, we didn't have hot days like we do now. The Bay Area always got cool in the evening.
Oh, that's good. No,
So it's just the weather is part of the new beginning, you guys.
that's true.
Things are shifting.
And when you live in a city that everything is quite clustered, everybody's on top of everybody, it's more hotter. So uh, that I
But
remember.
where you live now, you have air conditioning, right?
Yeah, I have my air conditioner right in front of me, but hoping to
Girl, when I bought this house in 2016, thank you to my parents who left me a chunk of money so I could buy a house. I first thing I did with first thing,
Mhm.
because I had a lot of stuff redone, was put central air and heat in. First thing, because I live out in Northern California now, and we can get hot out here.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. I mean, right now the climate, like they say that climate change is not real, but obviously people are
Whoa.
wrong. Hello. It's
And I
coming
feel
up
sorry
anyway,
for the elderly. It's really hard on elderly people.
especially in the middle part of the United States. I mean, temperatures that we've never seen before.
Rains, Armageddons that we've never seen before. Getting up these hurricanes, I don't want to cause fear. Just listen when they say to evacuate and evacuate.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah,
Because there's big time hurricanes coming,
that's definitely true. Well,
unfortunately.
Um, I would like to say thank you.
Thank you.
You can find Linda G, Comanche Psychic, and Anita Inspires on YouTube. I'm gonna leave the link below. I want to say thank you so much, Linda. Happy
Thank you.
early birthday and best wishes for your surgery.
Thank you, sweetie. And
Thank
listen, you're beautiful energy wise. You're just glowing.
Thank you so much.
I wish you a lot of luck, and we'll keep in touch too.
Yes.
After the surgery and stuff, maybe we can.
And I would love to invite you back when you have your book.
Yes, yes.
Please. Oh, I can't wait because I'm a book person. I'm a bookworm. So
all right. Fantastic.
Thank you so much. And that's been today's show. I would love to invite everyone to check out Linda on YouTube and myself. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.